All right. Sorry. Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. We're doing grade 4. All right. So we will scroll down up until we get to our chapter of subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. And in our previous lesson, we did coordinating conjunction. So at least now we'll be able to see the difference between a coordinating conjunction as well as a subordinating conjunction. So we are now going to be doing subordinating conjunction, and then we are going to go on to, and then we're going to also see what is the difference between a subordinating conjunction as well as a coordinating conjunction. All right. So now our chapter is subordinating conjunctions. Our subject is English Language Arts. We're doing grade 4. And then the lessons that we are going to be focusing on today under the chapter of subordinating conjunctions, it is to identify subordinating conjunctions. All right. And once again, like I said, in our previous lesson, we did conjunction and we specifically did coordinating conjunctions, right? That is what we did in our previous lesson. So we are going to basically see what the difference is today between a subordinating conjunction as well as a coordinating conjunction that was in our previous lesson. All right. All right. So when it comes to subordinating conjunctions, it is used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. That is a subordinating conjunction. And the conjunctions, right, after and before, they tell you when something happens. So there is quite a few conjunctions, right? But these words, they tell you something that happens. All right. So once again, we said subordinating conjunctions. Our subordinating conjunctions, right? It is where it's used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. And if we look at our previous lesson, right, on coordinating conjunction also joined or connected sentences. All right. So we said that when we look at words like after and you look at the conjunction before, they will tell you when something happened. So that words either after or words like before, that will basically tell you that something has happened or it will. All right. So now it says, if we look at an example of a subordinating conjunction, we're going to look at an example. It says, I need to return this book before the library closes. All right. And also when it comes to conjunctions, right? The conjunctions, especially when it comes to the subordinating conjunction, all right. So now, if we look at another example, right, of our subordinating conjunction, it says, as we lie on the grass, we look for the shapes in the clouds. All right. So remember we said that when it comes to subordinating conjunctions, right? Usually subordinating conjunction can either be the start or almost the start of words that you'll find when you are either joining sentences, right? Or let's say clauses. So when it comes to subordinating conjunctions, remember coordinating conjunctions, right, are words like and, but, or so. That is coordinating conjunction. But then we have subordinating conjunctions, right? It is also used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. but they use words like before and after and if and so on, right? And if we look at the example, it says, as we lie on the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. So as we lie on the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. And the next one says, my brother likes to listen to music while he does his homework. All right. So now let's quickly go to aplusstudents.ca, and we are going to go over, we're going to identify subordinating conjunctions, and then we're going to our test, right? Because we said subordinating conjunctions, it's used to connect two simple sentences, but in a special way, right? So we use words like after and before, and that will tell you that something happens. So after and before will tell you that something happens. I need to return this book before the library closes, because when the library closes, I'm going to get a penalty. Then we also have a conjunction, right? While. Then we also have the conjunction while, as and while. And the words as and while, right? They tell you that two things happen at the same time. So as and while, they tell you that two things happen at the same time. For example, as we lie on the grass, we look for shapes in the clouds. All right. So we basically are using the words to that basically tells us what the other also means, or that's similar or almost similar. The conjunction until tells you how long something takes or lasts. Until, how long it takes or how it lasts. And then we have the conjunction because, right? It says the conjunction because and since tell you why something happens or why something is true. So why something is happening and why something is true. That is when we use the word because or since. For example, I was late for school because I forgot to set my alarm. All right. All right. We said we are now by because, right? So we say that with subordinating conjunctions, right? If we use the word because and since, then we use the word because and since to tell us why something happens or why something is true. That is because or since. Why something happens or why something is true. And then also, since I left my phone at home, I have to borrow my brother's. That is where we use since and because. And that means it will, when something happens, it happens. Or why maybe a statement or something is true. And then we also have unless. The conjunction unless shows an exception. All right. So now we're going to look at the activity and then we're going to look at and do the test. It says Megan wrote a letter while she sat in the library. So Megan wrote a letter while she sat in the library. We need to select the subordinating conjunctions. All right. So we need to select the subordinating conjunction. Megan wrote a letter while she sat in the library. And if we were to select the correct option, we will say while, right? And we see that the conjunction as and while, they tell you that two things happen at the same time. Two things happen at the same time. All right. Let's go to the next one. It says, until my dad picks me up, I will read in the library. So until my dad picks me up, I will read in the diary, in the library. We need to say what the coordinating conjunction is. All right. And if we were to select our subordinating conjunction, right? It says, until my dad picks me up, I will read in the library. And if we were to select a subordinating conjunction, we will say until. So until. And the word until, it tells you how long something takes or how long something lasts. All right. So now let's go to our test. We're going to the test now, where we are going to identify subordinating conjunctions. All right. Here it says select the subordinating conjunction. Mia knew the alphabet before she turned 3 years old. Mia knew the alphabet before she turned 3 years old. Is it option one, which is the, or option two, before? And if we were to select a subordinating conjunction, and then we can say before. All right. So the next one says, although Janet was nervous, she performed beautifully in the play. What is our subordinating conjunction? All right. The next one says, although Janet was nervous. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Although. I thought it's a different one. So, although it is. Yes. Yes. Well done. Although is correct. That is our subordinating conjunction. The next one says, unless mom has the day off, we'll go to dad's house. All right. The next one says, unless mom has the day off, we'll go to dad's house. So, unless mom has the day off, we'll go to dad's house. All right. So, we're going to say we use. All right. So, unless mom has the day off, we'll go to dad's house. What is the subordinating conjunction within that sentence? All right. Unless, yes, well done. Unless is our subordinating conjunction. Well done. Unless. The next one says, unless that plant gets plenty of sun, it won't grow well. All right, it says, unless the plant gets water. So we said, unless is our answer. All right, yes, well done. Yes, unless is correct. Even if you were just thinking, but well done, sorry. The nurse will read to Cole until he falls asleep. So the nurse will read to Cole until he falls asleep. What is the subordinating conjunction? So the nurse will read to Cole until he falls asleep. What is our answer? Option one, until. Option two, he. All right. And we can say that the nurse will read to go until he falls asleep. So until is correct. Yes, well done. Until is correct. Well done. Before we go sailing, we will check the weather. So before we go sailing, we will check the weather. All right. So look at this one. It says we need to select the subordinating conjunction. Is it option one, before, or option two, we? Before or we? So before we go sailing, we will check the weather. All right. Yes, so before is correct. The next one says until your hair is clean, you can play computer games. All right. So now we're going to use subordinating conjunctions. We're going to use subordinating conjunction. We had to first identify it. Now we're going to use it. And that is basically to write in the details. And once again, we said a subordinating conjunction is used to connect two simple sentences in a special way. That is coordinating that is basically conjunctions. So we can say, I've already seen that movie. I would watch it again. All right. And if we were to select our correct answer, we can say, before I've already seen that movie, I would watch it again. All right. Now we're going to our test. It says we need to complete the sentence with the best conjunction. With the best conjunction, it says Simon mixed the pancake batter. He scooped it into the pan. All right. So if we were to complete our sentence, right, we would say Simon mixed the pancake batter. He scooped it into a pan. All right. So we need to complete the sentence with the better conjunction. Simon mixed the pancake batter. He scooped it into the pan. Do we say before? Or do we say although he mixed the pancake batter he scooped it into a pan? Or do we say before he mixed the pancake batter he scooped it in the pan? It's either before or it is although. So it's actually before, right? So it says before he mixes his pancake batter, he scoops it into that thingy. All right, we need to say is it while or until the store is still open, let's go grocery shopping. So do we say while the store is still open, let's go grocery shopping? Or do we say until the store is still open, let's go grocery shopping? While or until? All right. So do we say while the store is still open, or do we say until the store is still open? Oopsie. All right. So while the store is still open, because the thing is, while the store is still open, let us take the opportunity to do grocery shopping. Not until. Until is like saying when, right? The next one says, unless the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears. Or do we say, while the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears? All right, the next one says, complete the sentence with the better conjunction. So we need to choose it with a better conjunction. It's, do we say, unless the frameworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears? So do we say unless the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears, or do we say while the fireworks were exploding overhead, Josh covered his ears? All right, and while is correct. We're almost done. We waved goodbye. Do we say as the bus pulled out of the station, or do we say unless the bus pulled out of the station? We waved goodbye as the bus pulled out of the station, or do we say unless the bus pulled out of the station? So we waved goodbye. Do we say as the bus pulled out of the station, or do we say we waved goodbye unless the bus pulled out of the station? All right. So we said we waved goodbye as, yes, as the bus pulled out of the station. Well done. As is correct. Jing's dog, Sparky. Jing's dog, Sparky, barks. Do we say after the mail is being delivered, or do we say while the mail is being delivered? So is the dog barking while the mail is being delivered or after the mail is being delivered? All right, so we can say Jinx dog Sparky barks while the mail is being delivered. Yes, while, because it means that while the man is busy delivering the mail, Sparky is barking. All right, Tessa dried off with a blue towel. Tessa dried off with a blue towel. Do we say after she took a bath or do we say before she took a bath? So Tessa dried off with a blue towel. Do we say after she took a bath or do we say before she took a bath? So after or before. All right. And yes, we can say Tessa dried off with a blue towel after. Because remember, we basically dry ourselves off once we have either taken a bath or a shower. So after she took her bath. Oh gosh. I was supposed to say, I was supposed to click yes. All right, but this is not the end of our lesson on subordinating conjunction. All right, we said coordinating conjunction. It joins two independent sentences or independent clauses by using specific words, right? And each of those words, they mean something. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade fours, for joining the class. And I really hope that you're going to have a good weekend further. All right, so till next time, goodbye.